I am grateful you have not known evil as I have. But you have not seen what I have seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not. You have not seen what I have seen. You have not seen what I have seen.
The Rings of Power is the most expensive show ever made. With a budget over $1 billion, that means Amazon spent $1 for every person who is not watching. And guess what? Those billion people are missing out on a show. Before I go any further defending one of the shows of all time, there's something I must do first.
I'm about to make myself retarded.
There is such thing as being too good for television. The Rings of Power is exactly that. It's so good, in fact, that Amazon should do the right thing and pull it from its servers. People are just not ready for such perfection. Disney found out that lesson the hard way. Do you remember the Willow TV show?
I think you're thinking of someone else.
Neither does Disney. 37% of Rings of Power viewers made it to the end of the first season. Tragically, those people are no longer with us. They died somewhere near episode 5 while the show was still on autoplay. This might be a bad look for Amazon, but let's check in with those other 63%ers that didn't deserve the Rings of Power and see how they're living. Those poor bastards have no idea what they're missing out on. Rather than appeal to one of the most devoted fan bases in human existence, Amazon smartly and rightly said, screw those nerds. We want that sweet, sweet modern audience dollars. Above all things, The Rings of Power exposes Peter Jackson as the hack that he is with his perfect Lord of the Rings trilogy. It was fantasy in the purest sense. It had epic fight scenes. It was an adventure. There were thrills and quests.
All shall love me understand.
It was fun. The Rings of Power brought something new and fresh to television by saying, we're not doing any of that shit. When asked if they were going to follow Tolkien's lore that he carefully crafted and labored over, they said, you mean that writing dork? Yeah, okay, that guy didn't even have AI to help him. They even got bigger brains and fired the Tolkien scholar because all the lore they needed was on Wikipedia anyways, which is completely badass. Instead, the writers of The Rings of Power gave us a perfect series where not one single minute could be misinterpreted as entertainment. It has writing so good, not even the show itself can bear to hear its own dialogue.
Our folk have been wandering for years. Guess's path must have been important to him. I say we fought.
There are so many classic lines running through this show that people utter to each other with fondness every day.
I knew it'd be hard, it's just him. This heart's different.
This dialogue is hard, but knowing someone actually wrote down this little gem makes this hard different. Speaking of hard, after season 1, the writers heard your complaints about how the fight scenes were too good and too exciting.
Don't plant roots. Keep moving.
So in season 2, the writers upped the ante by removing all the fight scenes and replacing them with people looking at each other.
Yes.
And people looking at various items. Were you afraid that Lord of the Rings was just too damn masculine? Well, may your shrunken balls swell up with happy sauce. No men are found in this show at all. All the men have now been replaced with talking twinks. And boy, do they talk.
The light of Valinor shone upon your very face, Galadriel. And you turned your back on it. Was it truly to fight the darkness? Or was the darkness calling to you? Can you not see? All this may be by his design.
In talk.
And with a new age, I bring a new vision. A path to unconditional conquest. For I seek a new kind of power. One we shall use to enslave the peoples of Middle-earth to our very will.
And don't shut the fuck up.
To be informed that Halbrand is Sauron. Move with haste. You and I are momentarily aligned for one reason. Because your actions have left us no alternative. I should have you thrown in fetters and cast to the Ettenmoors for what you've done. As coals too long removed from the hearth, or diminish forever into endless night. Our days in Middle-earth are ended.
Do you like stories with narrative tension? Me either. Sure, that's how humans have told stories since we stopped speaking chimp, but it's time to grow up. Time to be non-offensive in every turn. Time to accept that diversity is your strength. Time to understand that orcs have feelings too. The writers kick up the storytelling up a notch by writing flat characters who meander through ambiguous plots, with endless walking through unknown and uninteresting lands. But with know-it-all girl bosses that know better than the best knower.
Have you come back here to lead us all to the Suzat?
Rory must never found the Suzat.
I have no idea what they're talking about, but Sugar Muffin here is speaking, so it's best we pretend to listen.
And after a while, we just kept wandering.
Hell yeah. But just as you think your eyes couldn't handle any more of the beauty of the Rings of Power, you're treated to the best set pieces community theater can buy. And lastly, the Lord of the Rings trilogy was so childish with its humor that they might as well casted Leslie Nielsen.
I haven't had this much sex since I was a Boy Scout leader.
You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
Like a midget at a urinal, I was going to have to stay on my toes.
I couldn't believe it was her. It was like a dream. But there she was, just like I remembered her. That delicately beautiful face, and a body that could melt a cheese sandwich from across the room. And breasts that seemed to say, hey, look at these. She was the kind of woman that made you want to drop to your knees and thank God you were a man. Yeah. She reminded me of my mother, all right, no doubt about it.
The Fellowship formed bonds over these humorous moments. The writers of the Rings of Power hate friendship. They decided that people, just like themselves, are forever alone and hate laughing, so they wrote humorless characters. Their only tone is a serious one. Their only friend is themselves. And they hate their friend. They even look stone cold, like they are empty souls that are sinking, much like stones do.
Rocks are sinky because they look downwards to darkness. Boats float because they look up at shiny sky. Do you get it?
You're saying if I look at shiny sky, I can float like a boat?
First, you must touch darkness. It's like a metaphor.
Then I can be floaty like a boat?
That scene was unintentionally funny, and the writers are tired of you laughing at it. Get serious, guys. The Rings of Power demonstrates to you, the audience, that money laundering is a complicated and messy business. It is a show that demands your respect as it wastes your time, and if it does not get what it wants, well, you're a funny racist bigot.
Hey guys, this is why I think racism is bad. We're all the same on the inside, except for girls, because they're not the same as boys.
Hey, do yourself a favor, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more of my award-winning personality to fix your day. Not that I care about it or anything, but I got you. I'm out of here.